Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Anya. Welcome to the bare face. This video is hopefully going to be a little bit shorter than my regular 20+ minute ones. I'm just going to do a quick video which shows my current favourite powder foundation routine. It's the only powder foundation routine that I have, and it is using this one. This is the Makeup Mekka Hello Pretty Powder Foundation. Now Makeup Mekka is only available in Norway, so I'm sorry to anyone who is from outside of Norway, but I've been really enjoying it, and the colour is decently close to my skin tone. My face right now looks very red, and it is very red, which is one of the reasons I've fallen in love with this, because this has medium plus coverage right away and I love that. So I'm going to be using this, but I have another couple of products as well, but essentially any powder foundation will do. This is just my current favourite routine. It is also great if you, like me, are low on spoons or energy and need something that can be done in a matter of minutes. Let's jump into it. I also have a playful puppy, so if you hear little puppy steps, that's her. I start off with a primer. My current favourite one is the Fenty Pro Filter, but I also sneak in a little bit of the Smashbox Primer Water. My skin is moisturised and prepped, and I like to use this as a final step in my skincare routine, or the first step in this case in my makeup routine, to just seal the skincare in so that my skin is going to stay moisturised all day and not look dry. And I use quite a lot of this, but it's just what works best for me. With the Fenty primer, I tend to use 4 pumps. I find that 4 pumps is perfect for my entire face. It's again probably a little bit excessive, but it just is what works best for me, and I usually just dot it around my face. I find that that is most effective. I also use an eye primer. This is the Urban Decay Primer Potion, and I essentially just prime my eyes, but I also use this underneath my eyes to avoid my concealer creasing, and I just blend that out with my fingers. And now when my skin is prepped and primed, I go into anything else. I can use a colour corrector. As you noticed, my skin is very red, so I sometimes go in with a green colour corrector. I also sometimes go in with a peachy corrector underneath my eyes. Today's I'm not doing any of those because I'm going in with concealer. And when I go in with concealer, I tend to go in for something that is medium to full coverage, because that is what I prefer, because that means I have to go in with less. And I said the powder foundation, this one is medium plus coverage, and I like that about it, but I do have some spots currently that are bright red, much redder than the rest of my skin, which, as you can see, kind of noticeably in this area. My cheek is red, but the spots, or in this case healing spots and scars, they tend to be darker. But I go in with Shape Tape from Tarte. This is my current favourite, and I take a doe foot, put it on the back of my hand, and that is enough for my entire face. Then I go in with a sponge. This is the Real Techniques one, which is my favourite, and I just dip the corner bit into it, try to avoid getting a ton of this, and then I start essentially just stippling product on the areas I want to conceal, which for me is those scars. I'm not actually blending anything yet, I'm just putting on where I want to put on, just in case I need more. I also go in with this underneath my eyes. I also take it onto my eyelid, and I just blend the remaining thing down onto my cheek. Then I also go in and blend the other areas. My skin is looking extra red today down here and around my mouth, so I'm going to take a teeny bit more concealer, and I'm just going to take it over the edges that are super red. And then what is left is to go in with the foundation, and I tend to use a brush that looks like this. This is an Isadora Face Sculptor brush, but it has some density to it, and that is what I like with any kind of powder product. This is also my just general powder brush, but I found that it works really great with this foundation. I just dip my brush into it and it covers it fully, and then I just stipple it onto my face. And that's that. It's super simple. This took me a little bit longer today because the puppy is being naughty, but I go over my face usually once, and if there are any areas that I feel are a little bit uneven or maybe didn't get enough, I just go back in and go over, and I don't actually notice any powderiness. This looks smooth. It looks like I'm wearing powder, but it doesn't look cakey. At least not, I think it looks that on me. My only issue with this, I have two. One is the colour, which looks like it would be okay for me, is a little dark. It is about a shade too dark and a tad bit too warm, which if it had been more in the neutral undertone area, which is more my undertone, it wouldn't have looked this off. But I tend to blend it down my neck just to make it look a little bit more cohesive. And the other thing is that this has a very dewy finish, which is, I feel, a little bit unusual for a powder foundation. But right now it looks not fully matte. It has a little bit of glow to it, which I really enjoy, and it doesn't feel sticky. But this doesn't last very long on me looking like this. It gets dewier and oilier very quickly, which is not the best, but this is the one that I tend to wear for a full day without doing anything else with it. And what I tend to do is I tend to set my face with a matte finish setting spray. Today I'm using Urban Decay All Nighter. This isn't my favourite. This is the one I grabbed for, and this is the one I've been using recently. The NYX matte finish one is probably my favourite. I really do enjoy how that looks. But I set my face with a matte finish setting spray before I move on to anything else. I have a puppy here who is a little bit cuddly, but that is my powder foundation routine. You can see it has a little bit of glow in the cheek area, on the forehead, and I do really like that finish. I think it helps make it look a lot less matte, considering it's an all powder product. This is also a product that I can wear on its own if I want to do the super bare minimum. I do this and I do that, and those are the only two products that I need. The rest, the eye primer underneath the eyes and over the eyes, I do when I want to, when I have a little bit of extra time, because I do think that helps my under eye area look a lot less lined and creasy, because I do have lines under my eyes, and you may be able to see them. They are very prominent and makeup likes to sit in them, so I find that using an eye primer, and I think the majority of eye primers will do. This one works for me, the Fenty works for me, Makeup Mekka has one that works for me, Rimmel has a primer that works great for me as well. The majority of them will do, as long as they're not super thick, and I just find that that really helps the whole under eye situation. And for the face, the setting spray is one that I use when I have the extra time. It's a step that I often skip because I find that it helps a little bit, but it's not a life-saving product. I really love the finish of the powder foundation on its own, which is why I choose to wear it. That is this powder foundation routine. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a powder foundation that you like, or just a regular foundation that you like, leave it down below, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.